Hi guys, so welcome to Suitcase Divas, episode 47 this week. My name is Denise Diobaldi with Redbirds Travels.
And I'm Cheryl Garcia with ABCD Adventures.
Yeah, so let's go there. Today is a very interesting Friday. We had to pivot a little bit because we were supposed to be going out to a apple,
On
apple orchard
location. Yeah.
and doing a flight of cider, hard cider or beer. There, you said there's beer too.
I
Either way,
honestly don't.
we'll
Yeah.
get to that next week because here's the thing. Cheryl had a one fucking morning from hell.
I did.
so so Cheryl, let's just before we go into the fall activities and things to do with friends, and why don't you tell us about what your morning entailed? And that started early, correct?
I did. It started about 5 a.m. this morning. So first, as Denise said, this is a Friday. Usually we don't record on Fridays. Usually our podcast is launching on Fridays, which I will be getting that. I still be getting this episode out sometime today. And we had talked about how I'm over summer. I'm completely over summer.
You are.
My youngest is back at college. I'm just ready for summer to be done and ready to move into fall. So we decided to switch and go to some fall topics. And one of those was today we were going to go record on location. And my dogs decided at 5 a.m. they needed to go out. No biggie. They've done that before. 10, 15 minutes later, they come back in. They had been skunked bad to the point where they were throwing up. One of them was throwing up.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
It's worse. My dogs have been sprayed before because they go after every animal that comes in our yard. I don't know why animals keep coming in our yard. They are cannibals. We are like I was going to say, I got to be careful. We're just not a very safe space.
Your dogs are hunters. They eat baby bunnies. They eat whatever they can find.
Yes, they do. And this was the worst one. It's 5 by 5. This happened around 5:15ish. By 5:45, I had just gone through the emotions and finally started putting it together. It's just been a shit show all morning. So Denise gracefully pivoted our schedule. I can't leave the house.
She stinks, y'all. She smells like a skunk.
6:30 this morning, I was like, let me finish this bottle of wine from last night. I didn't. Instead, I took off to Lowe's thinking, all right, I'm going to do some retail therapy as I am walking around Lowe's, one of my favorite places to go. And I'm talking about home improvement, not the grocery store.
Although Lowe's Beer Den would have been a pretty optimal
Actually, yeah, but they don't open till later. But
they open at 11.
So I love DIY, so I'm always going, and I have a project going. So I was like, let me go shopping. I couldn't stay because I kept smelling skunk. I had already showered, I had changed, but I stunk.
Man,
so I had to leave. I did get my spackle that I needed to fix the drywall in the room that I'm getting ready to redo, but that's all I could do. I couldn't buy the paint. I couldn't really spend some time in there. I found a rug I wanted to look at, but I couldn't do anything. I had to leave. So when Denise called me, as we do every morning, we chat and plan our day. I was like, babe, I can't go anywhere. I stink. My car stinks. I stink.
And I'm very sensitive to smell. And so I don't even know that I could ride in a car with you, or
you couldn't ride in my car because when I got back to the car from Lowe's, I was barely in and out of the car within 30 minutes, like in the store, back out, all within 30 minutes. And when I opened it, it was like a cloud of skunk musk. And I don't understand.
I'm so sorry.
So I'm locked in my office right now, which the dogs hadn't gotten into, but it smells. It's spreading, y'all. It's spreading. I've already changed twice.
It permeates everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most foul, offensive smelling odor ever.
So instead of us being on location together, which we are trying to do more, we only live like 10, 15 minutes from each other, but our schedules never work out.
I feel like I have not seen you in forever. I mean, we were just together for the girls' weekend, but outside of that, it's been like a month since I've seen you.
Right. So we were really looking forward to I'm ready to kick off fall activities. So the next few episodes are not few, but a couple are going to talk about fall episodes. So today we are going to talk about one, why we're over summer and we're ready for fall. And what is today? It's August still. I don't even know what the date is. It's August 22nd,
23rd. It's
23rd.
the
Okay.
23rd of August.
So I know y'all are like, hey, slow your roll. It's still summer. No, I'm ready.
Well, what I will say is it's given me a little bit of fall fever because the last few mornings have been like in the
Yes.
60s. It's been low. It's been nice and there's a little chill in the air. Today I wore a long sleeve, like a little hoodie on my walk with Riley because it was chilly out this morning. And I have to say, I'm not opposed to fall coming, like I've had a good summer and I love fall. I love
Me
fall
too.
because of football. I love fall because of tall boots and sweaters. I love sweaters. So I'm excited for fall.
Same. I love the change of season. I feel like this summer was it was a great summer overall. It was a roller coaster. You and I were talking about this, and I don't want to. It's not a
Correct.
disaster. It wasn't a shit show overall, but it had its
Had
ups
some
and
shit show
downs.
moments.
But I enjoyed the ride. I will never not enjoy the ride. We may throw up on that ride. We may get a headache, but at the end, we're like, "Damn, that was kind of pretty cool." By the end of it,
We
because
have
I'm
some
always
adventures.
up for the adventures. Absolutely. So today we're going to kind of talk about fall activities and some of the things that we like about fall. That way you guys can start planning if you want to do fall trips or see what's going on in your area. We kind of want to give you some info. So we're going to talk about like some stuff that we looked up and did some research on, as well as some of our favorite things about fall. So I'm going to kick it back to Denise and let's start talking about fall activities to do with friends.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a big football fan. I wish the Panthers were a better team. like in 2015, we were crushing that shit.
It's
Ever since
2024, babe.
I know we've had a bit of a dry spell. But I do like football Sundays and tailgating. If you don't actually go into the game, you can still a lot of the bars around here you can hang out and tailgate and get ready for the game. And then a lot of the sports bars and stuff, you can actually watch the game at the bar, or we typically watch ours at home. But will say Sunday is in our house is usually some sort of revolving around who's playing, what teams are playing, and if we're going to watch it and if we're going to hang out. So that is fun.
So we do
Yeah,
football. I don't watch football.
your husband does.
He does. He's a huge football, like he's into all the fantasy league. He does all that stuff. What I love about football season one is it gives him an activity that he really enjoys. And
Yeah.
I love to hear how animated fans get
Yeah.
with their TV. I totally understand
I
that. But I
I am
love
a
the
hot
food.
mess. Like I lean, I shout,
Oh yeah, like I know, like for you, you're like your schedule revolves around like we will adjust to your schedule. Like, hey,
and
there's
I
a
don't watch
football
all
game
the
on.
games. I don't watch every team. I don't watch all the games. I have a few select teams that I watch, but I mean, I grew up cheering for football. So I was a football cheerleader. I was on the sidelines, Friday night lights, all that good stuff.
I
So I
love
know
the atmosphere.
it's
That's what.
it's fabulous. It's
Mhm.
magical.
And I love the food. I like to cook this time of year or fall. I like to make I like to make food. So my husband has snacky foods when we do hang out, or I'll go. There's a Super Bowl party that he usually goes to. Sometimes I haven't been in a while, but I always cook something for it. I love the food around. I love food in general,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
but
football food and snacks and all of that. That is
fall
good
food is
stuff.
awesome. We'll get into
Yeah.
that because that's one of my favorite seasons
Yeah,
is
and
fall food.
piggybacking off of that, there's nothing like a good crock pot meal. You know what I mean? Like you can throw things in the crock pot and then it's cooking all day and then the house smells lovely. And
Yes.
so I'm all about some fall crock pot meals. Other things
We
that
should do a day where it's an episode dining with divas and we do some
ooh,
of our favorite fall recipes. Let
that
us
would
know
be
what you guys
fun.
think if you guys want to hear or go just cook with us, which we've done on Zooms before. We've
We
cooked
have done on Zooms
and they're
before.
so much fun.
Yeah, with our agent friends, correct.
Yeah.
Another wonderful thing to do. I mean, all year round, honestly. But in the fall, when the leaves are turning, and it's nicer and it's not so hot here, I love going to the wineries in the fall because we are right in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Parkway, and like at any given time, if we head out to Hamptonville, there's like 15 wineries all within like a few miles. So you can go and have a lovely day hitting the different wineries. And the weather is always gorgeous in the fall for that.
Absolutely.
So what are some other things that you're thinking of that you tend to like to do in the fall?
For the fall, for activities that I personally like to do, one, decorate. That's my biggest
I do
thing.
like decorating for fall and Halloween. Yeah.
I would say Halloween. I don't usually decorate for fall. I decorate by September 1st, my house will be done for Halloween, and it will stay that way until I switch it to Christmas. Which we are planning a super awesome Halloween party coming.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Maybe we'll invite y'all. But I just love everything fall. They usually have like the markets, the changing of the seasons. Fall and spring are my two favorite, when the seasons are kind of going from the really mild or from the really hot and whatever to the mild kind of thing, and then vice versa, spring from winter to spring. So I like it when they have the markets. They have so many vendor markets going on this time
Yeah.
of year. I like to go and do that. But on our list that we were looking at, some of the things they were talking about, and this is one I've done, but not with this group, not with our group. I've done it with other groups. Friendsgiving. Have you ever done a Friendsgiving?
Yes. Yeah. I love Friendsgiving, where
Yes.
you all make like a dish and you come together at like Thanksgiving and it's your friends, because our family is not necessarily like a lot of people have a lot of family close by. I'm a northern transplant, so you
I'm
guys
a
are my
transplant as well.
family.
Right.
And so a lot of times we do things like that because I don't have my actual like blood relatives here. So there's a different kind of family.
So some of the other things they talked about when we were looking up kind of things that you guys can do for the fall, and we'll get into specifics and destinations and locations later, but we're just kind of getting the list together. Um, Obviously the bonfires. I love a good bonfire. I love the smell of the campfire. You hate it.
Well, so I don't like it when the smoke gets in my hair because smoke is very permeating, not as much as skunk. But I will tell you, after I've been hanging out by the fire pit, my hair smells like smoke, which
Yeah.
you probably think is great. You'll be over here huffing my hair, but
I
I'm
do. I don't know if it's because I camp, and I that was one of the best things every night at camp we would, or when we were camping, is making the fire. And when I come home and I unpacked my bag and it all smelled like the campfire, I guess it's a memorable thing, but I love the smell of campfire,
I
and
will
waking
say
up the next day smelling like, I
the
don't know,
kids love
weird.
making s'mores, and that is always a fond
I
memory
hate
for
making
the kids.
s'mores over the fire. Absolutely hate it.
The kids love it. I'm not really a desserts type of person, but that for them, building a fire and making s'mores was always like a backyard fire is a fun thing to do. So we definitely do that.
They also say to some of the things you can do, and I want to know if you've done this. Have you ever taken a ghost tour or visited old cemetery? And have you ever done any of those?
um, I haven't done a ghost tour. My besties and I in college, I don't know how I got roped into this, but they used to think it was fun to go out late at night and traipse around a cemetery. And I have done that, and it's creepy as fuck. And but no, I don't really mess with ghosts too much. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
let them be. Like I'm not opposed to ghosts. I don't have anything against ghosts. I know that they're out there, but I just don't want to fuck with them. I'm like you do you, and I'll stay in my lane, and that's all good for me personally. I don't like to
Okay.
be creeped out. I don't like to feel like I don't want to feel haunted.
Right.
Y'all can just stay wherever you are and are happy. I don't want you at my house. And I'm not gonna try to go find you. Like we're all good.
So I
I'm
will
fine.
say, if you are interested in ghost tours, I have done them in a couple of different places.
They
One
do.
of my favorite ones was in Savannah, Georgia, when we went for
Yes.
our girls' weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Our mom's club girls' weekend. So Savannah has is so rich in history.
It is.
If you like anything about history, it's not just about the ghosts, but
And yeah, a lot
it's
about
so
ghost
rich
tour.
in
They do a
history.
lot of that there. Yep.
Right. This particular ghost tour we did was a or a bar
I
crawl
mean,
ghost tour.
you could probably twist my arm if there's
That's what we did. So
involved.
we had an amazing tour guide who went through, we went in, of course, at night.
But do you guys feel the spirits? Do you see anything on these tours? Like,
So
how serious does it get?
I
That's what I want to know.
100% believe in spirits. I believe in all of that.
Right. Okay.
So I personally, that night, I feel the history, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
When I'm in, I love historical places. I love to go to be where something was relevant, where something meant something to someone. It doesn't even have to
Yeah, I
be
get
you.
that.
I like to go there and I feel something for what has happened here. So that
Okay.
doesn't mean I've felt like the goosebumps and the ghost and everything like that. But when we were doing the tour in Savannah, it was the stories that brought me in. And we went through one of the cemetery parts. It was closed at night, so we couldn't walk through, but he had talked about the war and the how the gravestones had been knocked over. I feel that. I feel the
Okay.
history
I
of it.
got
I
you
don't
there.
necessarily
Mhm.
feel the spiritual
Okay.
part. I didn't that night. But what was awesome was throughout this tour, we would stop at a different bar or pub, depending on, and those usually had some type of story because the buildings in Savannah were so historic and they all have their own story. I love the stories behind where I'm visiting. So I'm one
Yes.
of those, if there is a tour, especially explaining something about the history of where I'm at, I'm usually on there. And I'm also that person. So when we go to Williamsburg, I'm stopping to read the
Yeah, you're a history buff
signs.
for sure. I get that. I can
So I
appreciate that.
absolutely recommend if like Savannah as one of my favorite places to go
Charleston also
for.
has a lot of ghost tours and
Correct.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's a cool place.
Well, and
If you like that type of stuff, Charleston,
and
you.
yes, go do that. This is a great fall activity.
Yeah.
You could do a whole theme night. They have buses, party buses.
And
They have
Charlotte
church.
has them. Charlotte has ghost tours,
Charlotte
right?
does have a ghost tour. I actually have not done it. Would you do a Charlotte ghost tour with me? Oh, guys, come on. You want Denise? I have not done a Charlotte ghost tour, and it's right here. So if you guys want me to get Denise to go do the Charlotte ghost tour, we'll make sure we do the pub crawl one. But y'all comment on here that you heard this and you want Denise to go do this.
Oh, you guys are putting me on the spot. I see how it is.
Yeah,
This is
this
the
is
way
what
this
we
Friday's
do.
rolling out.
So go
I mean,
ahead. What's
I'm
another
not going to say no. Let me think about it. And I mean,
Well,
I could
we're
probably be
listening to
convinced.
our listeners. If they say Denise, we really need your feedback on this because we've got someone who really it's not their cup of tea, and then someone who loves it. You will give a great review explanation of how we did it. Plus, when maybe
I
we'll
don't like,
record
see,
the
here's
whole
the
thing.
thing. I don't like being scared. I don't want to like,
They're not scary. If you do a really good one, it's more about the history and because all ghosts are not scary. They're there for a
right.
reason. They're not there, not all are intentional to hurt. I mean, they want to be listened to. They're protecting. There's so many reasons why spirits still stay here that
I
it's
get
not
that.
a
I just don't
scary
want to fuck with
one.
them and I don't want to be haunted. That's all.
All right,
Like if
so let's
I
do some research. And so, listeners, if you want Denise to do the Charlotte ghost tour, let us know. And if you know of one that's more of the history, and we're not out to, I like let's learn about it. Let's teach her about it. Drop that in as well, and we'll check those out. But
I'm a little
all
nervous about
right, so
that.
we'll go off so you don't have to keep worrying about that. What's another activity we can do in the fall?
I mean, so I I like we live in Blue Ridge Parkway. We've got that in our backyard. I love to look at the leaf peeping. I would think that's a fun going through the Blue Ridge Mountain and the Lynn Cove Viaduct and all of that cool stuff. Grandfather
You like to
Mountain.
hike. Yeah, you do like to
I
hike.
love a good suspension bridge hike, and Grandfather Mountain has the mile high suspension bridge, and you're literally
I've
up in
done
the
that
air.
one.
Yeah, so that I love. Waterfall hikes are my jam. I like going out and
So
hiking
when
to
you're
the
hiking,
water.
are you hiking like on a path where it's like a well-known, or are you actually getting out there and mm, this is just trampled dirt that everybody's gone the same way.
I mean, I tend to. What I will say is, if you go to All Trails, that's a great app. If you don't have it and you like to hike, All Trails is a great app to have. And it tells you how easy it is, if it's an in and out, if it's a loop, how arduous the hike is. So I tend to stay on the easier ones just because I do have back issues. And but I mean, I can go a good ways, and I love suspension bridges. They scare me, but that is the type of I will take that on. Yeah, I will take that on. I don't know about the ghost tour, but
we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, but I love being out. North Carolina, I have to say, gorgeous state. So much to do here. And I do like being out in the fall. Whether it's, they have a lot of cool festivals here too. And I love apple picking. We love to go apple picking. And my family loves the apple cider donuts. That's a whole thing now. Everywhere you go. It used to be, I'll tell you what, apple picking when I was a kid, you went out to the fucking apple orchard and you had your bag, and they used to they had ladders in the apple orchard. You could scale like a 25-foot ladder to get up into the tree. They don't do that anymore for insurance liability reasons. But that was it. Now you go to these apple orchards and there's freaking flights of hard cider. There's apple cider donuts. They've got the baked goods. There's all kinds, the shops. Like, apple picking is not what it used to be. Like, it is definitely
and that's our plan. That's what we were supposed to be doing today, was going to an apple orchard that has a hard cider, so we could try that. But we are going to do it. It just didn't. We're going to do it today, for sure. It's one of my favorite places to go, and it's near a good place to hike. I believe it's near the new casino, so we're going to kind of check out that whole area.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good outing. Definitely.
We're ready for fall, so we're going to have to make sure it's a cooler day so we can dress for fall, because I also love fall. What's the word? Fall clothing, fall
like wardrobe. Yeah, I love a good sweater. I love tall boots. I love hats. I love all cute little jackets. I definitely love fall.
Which I will say, fall and winter make it harder when you're traveling packing wise. We've had this, like, you need to wear layers when you're going, wear your heaviest shoes, your heaviest clothes, so you save on packing. Like, you have to really think about when you're packing and traveling in the fall and winter, because of the type of clothing that you're having to take, and the accessories, like your shoes, like you said, boots,
tall boots,
way more space than sandals and flip flops.
That is true. Worth it though, so worth it. So
speaking of fall festivals, I do want to say, if you go to festivalguidesandreviews.com, I just found this when I was looking up to see what festivals were in the area. This is Festival Guides and Reviews.
Put that in the notes too, so that you guys have access to it.
It actually had all the states' festivals, and I'm going to reach out to the gentleman that runs this, because I was reading there about on this, and he has gone to so many festivals. He's like such an amazing person that we could interview. He just and the fact that I couldn't believe how many festivals were in North Carolina alone that I have no clue about. Many.
Yeah, we gotta check some.
Right. So maybe we'll do a whole episode on festivals, but I highly recommend checking out festivalguidesandreviews.com so you can see what's in your area, because it's not just our state or North Carolina, it's all the states that
absolutely. Yep, check that out. I know I also do like to go to farmers markets this type of year, this time of year, because it's seasonal, whatever they grow seasonal. You're getting it more of your like butternut squash and all that good stuff versus like
it's funny because I do think I don't go to the farmers market as much in the spring and summer as I would prefer to go in the fall. I guess I prefer the fall produce better, maybe.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just really nice to be out and about when it's not 100 degrees or 105 heat index. Like, it gets toasty here in the summer, so you kind of just veg in the AC or hang out in your pool or whatever. Right. And when we get to have fall, because North Carolina is actually a state where you do have the seasons. Now, albeit we don't really get, I don't even remember the last time we've gotten snow here. It's been years since we got snow.
If
But it
we
does
get
get
it,
cold.
it's a light dusting. It
Right.
shuts the
And it
whole
doesn't
area
stay.
down, but it
Yeah.
does shut us down because it ends up being ice.
But but we do get, it gets cold here for sure. It does
Mhm.
get cold here in the winter. So, yeah, I mean, I love North Carolina. I came down for college not realizing what a beautiful gem of a location of the country this is. Um, and I've stayed because it's amazing. We got the mountains and we got the beaches and everything in between, and it's just a beautiful area to.
I agree. And where we are, like you say all the time, is we're near the Charlotte area. We're in a nice middle point of being close to the mountains, being close to
Yeah.
the beaches.
Hmm.
So it is, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful here. So let's
Another thing I
go.
will say, because I'm into astronomy, I love
Mhm.
looking if there's going to be a full moon or if there's a possibility of shooting stars or comets or anything like that. Like I will put out a blanket and look up at the sky. I love a night
Did
sky.
you know about the Aurora Borealis light, being able to see the lights before?
I
I did
didn't. I
too.
think
I missed
we were
it.
the only two that fucking had no clue
I
that that was
don't
going
know
on. Like,
how
what
we
the
missed
actual
that.
hell?
Everybody was talking about the eclipse, and that kind of just slid under. And I am so
I feel
disappointed
like they
because
did not give enough hype about that
they
around
did
here.
not. I was
They
very
didn't.
disappointed in that. But so those are a couple of the activities you can do. We'd love to hear what kind of activities you guys like to do in the fall. Let's jump into Denise had mentioned earlier food. Fall food is amazing. It's so heart, I don't know, it just feels so fulfilling, so
Okay, so I'm going to ask you because
fun.
I know your answer. So, are you a pumpkin spice yes or pumpkin spice no type of girl?
I am a all things pumpkin. I've already purchased it's I think I texted you the day I got my first pumpkin spice thing of the season because it came out in August. I got, which by the way was absolutely amazing, this pumpkin spice creamer, and then I got a pumpkin spice cold brew. Amazing. I will
See,
say I start early because I do kick off my fall season early. And then by like beginning of October, I'm kind of, fading out with it
I'm
because I'm
just not a
switching.
pumpkin spice person. There, I said it. I'm not.
Do
I
you just
just
not
don't.
like pumpkin in general, or is it?
Now, no, I'm not a huge. I'll eat like pumpkin bread or something
Oh, I
like that.
love pumpkin bread.
Yeah,
I was just
I'll just
thinking about
do
that
that. It's just
yesterday.
not. I'm just not
I'm
over
ready
the
to
top
take it.
everything. I'm not a Starbucks girl. I'm not
Oh,
gonna go.
I'm not a Starbucks person either. I love like pumpkin stuffed shells are my favorite. Those were
Pumpkin
absolutely.
stuffed shells.
Yes. So when I
I know I
say I
have
have
not had
pumpkin,
that.
I like pumpkin, not just the pumpkin spice drinks and stuff.
Okay,
I do like pumpkin. I make
pumpkin's good
pumpkin
for you,
stuff.
right? It's got like
Oh
health
yeah.
benefits. Yeah.
But now, and if you don't like pumpkin, for some of the recipes that I've used, you can swap it out with squash or something like that. But I think it's the fall produce that I really enjoy. And obviously pumpkin
Okay.
is a big one. So I'm looking for it. It's like at Christmas time when the eggnog comes out. You know 'tis the season once you see the eggnog. So for me, my season starts once the pumpkin something's out. But when I talk about pumpkin, I do like my pumpkin drinks, which I don't get from Starbucks. I either make them myself at home, or I do like Dunkin'. Dunkin's pretty good. But I like to cook with pumpkin and bake
Yeah.
with pumpkin.
I want to try these pumpkin stuffed shells.
Oh, they are so yummy.
That sounds a
Okay, then
treat.
maybe that's what we'll do, dining with divas for the fall. I'll make pumpkin stuffed shells because you have to make it now. I'm not making it from scratch where I'm like carving out the pumpkin myself, which by the way, a cooking pumpkin is so much more expensive than a carving
Yeah.
pumpkin. It's
True.
ridiculous. But
True.
that's my jam. I love fall food. So, what would you
Yes.
say would be your favorite fall food?
I love a good, like I said, a crock pot meal. I
Yes.
love to make like a white bean chili. Um,
Chili's big.
yeah. I like that. There's so many good soups and chilies out there. I like chicken and dumplings. That's easy to
Oh,
make in a crock
yum. Yes.
pot.
Mhm.
Like all of those are really, really easy to make. And I love that you just throw everything in the morning and then you have dinner ready and you really
Yes.
haven't had to bust your ass in the kitchen for
And
hours.
just to kind of spread the love, since I've gotten my pressure cooker, I don't have to thaw out my meat. I can actually, if you forget, this has been such a, I don't know if you know this, a lot of people probably do because I'm late to the game. But if your chicken's frozen and you're like, shit, I gotta cook in an hour, or we're expecting to eat, you can throw your chicken in the pressure cooker and make that crock pot meal in that pressure cooker from frozen
Wow.
chicken.
I do not have a pressure cooker.
I love
Um,
mine. Yeah, I love all that set it and forget it kind of shit. So,
yeah, right. I
what
like,
about decor? So when we're talking about our fall things, and you had mentioned earlier you decorate, are you a fall decorator or a Halloween decorator?
I'm both. Like I put up the blingy little shiny leaves I put on my kitchen cabinet doors, and I have the little fake trees that have wine corks on them that light up. They're like the LED lights, and but they look like birch trees.
Okay.
I have definitely like fall. I have table runners that are like, fall or autumn pattern. But I also, when it gets a little bit closer to Halloween, I do still like to decorate. And that brings me back to my mom, because my mom loved to decorate for all the different seasons. Like she would go as far as to change out the rocks in the fish tank to orange and black. And she had
Oh,
little ghosts in the fish tank. And she loved to do all of that, all of the decorating all around the house. And so I grew up with a decorated house, whether it was fall, whether it was Halloween, whether it was Christmas, whether it was Valentine's Day. She just loved to decorate the house in whatever season. So I do. That makes me happy because it's a tradition that I carry on of
and it's
hers.
a connection with your mom.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I do decorate for fall, and it just I love when people walk in, and the kids were all like, "You have the coolest house," because I have like the spider that drops down and then
Hmm.
goes up. I have the bat that flies around, and then I decorate it all spooky with like the purple LED lights and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I like to have a decorated house as well. That does make me happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so I love fall. I'm looking forward to fall. And that just means we're one step closer to Christmas. And Christmas is my all-time favorite to decorate for. I put up my tree early and I take
Same.
it down late. So yeah, that just means we're that much closer to Christmas, which I love decorating for Christmas too.
For me, I would say starting about now, because I'm switching from summer to fall
Mhm,
until like right after New Year's. This is my season. I claim this season. I
mhm.
thrive in this season. I
Yeah.
love it. This is my favorite time of year coming up.
Yeah, I like
You
it too.
travel often. I went because
Mhm,
this is, kids are back in school. You've got that kind of difference between it seems like every month there is a holiday from September until January, and everybody, not just I don't want to say traditional, but not just your commercial ones, but also there's so many spiritual and religious holidays between September and January. There's a lot of potential for travel. Do you guys travel a lot during the fall?
I wouldn't say we travel more than normal in the fall. I mean, this year we've got some big trips coming up. I leave a week for a week. In a week, I
Yes,
leave. I'm going to be in
right.
Chicago. I'm so excited. I have not really done the touristy Chicago thing. We're going to this anime conference for Alex's birthday. He's going to do that. That's going to be his bag. And then we're visiting with some family and touring Chicago, and I'm going to see the Bean and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. That will be a kind of a big trip. But yeah, we don't know. I mean, I guess where I'm always looking for an excuse to travel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, do you have any trips planned for? We've got to plan some trips, but do you have any trips
Right.
planned right
We
now?
as divas haven't gone on a trip because it's been a crazy summer. Like, because we like to travel at least once a month
We
together.
need to get back on a cruise. We need to get back.
Absolutely. I'm hoping to get the husband on a cruise soon, but as of right now, we
I know
do.
Nick's like, when do I get to go on a cruise? You always
Yeah.
fucking
So
show
maybe we
going
need to
all the time.
plan. where we take our spouses with us. But I will say,
Maybe. If he's lucky, I'll bring him
this
along.
year, my husband Daniel decided we're going to travel for Thanksgiving to see family, which
Okay.
we haven't done in years. Normally, he doesn't take the holidays off
But
because
isn't your family all right here, like Outer Banks, or where do you have family that's traveling?
Virginia, like it's still
Oh,
travel.
okay.
It's
Okay.
4 to 6 hours away.
Yeah,
And
I get
also,
you.
I don't love traveling on Thanksgiving, like that whole weekend. One, I'm a Black Friday shopper, so don't mess up my day.
Right.
And then it's just so, I thought it was harder to travel when the kids were younger with them, but now that they're in their own places, they have their own apartments, they have their own work schedules, school schedules. Brienne has her dogs. Trying to organize a family
Yeah.
where all of us can be at
It
the
gets
same
more
place for
challenging when they're
Thanksgiving.
older. Yeah, I would
Yes, it
say.
actually is more difficult. I'm very surprised by how much harder it is for us to plan trips for us together now that they're older. I thought it'd be easier because they could take themselves, they whatever, but trying to plan Thanksgiving's been difficult. I would rather just be on a cruise for Thanksgiving, which I did a couple years ago. Absolutely
It
amazing.
would be so weird for me to be on a cruise for Thanksgiving because my tradition is my mom's tradition to make the yeast rolls, which takes all
It's
day.
time to pass it down to one of the kids now. But this was the first and only time, truthfully, I've left my kids. It was 2021. Was it? Yeah, it was 2021. 20, whatever we were able to
Were you
cruise
even
at.
traveling? We were,
It was either
is
2020 or 20.
COVID?
I had
It
to
was
go back and
after
look. It
COVID.
was right after cruising opened up after COVID. And I went on my very first cruise, actually. It was, I think we left on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, you and
And
Eileen
I did.
went on a
And
princess cruise, right?
correct. And I fell in love.
I'm
Princess Cruise
remembering
was
that.
my first cruise line I was
Mhm.
introduced to. And I'm still like a huge Princess Cruiser
I
fan.
like princess. Yeah, princess cruises are nice.
But
They're
that
very
was a
nice.
quick trip. We flew out of Charlotte on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. So my kids were responsible for all of Thanksgiving. They did it. And we don't do traditional Thanksgiving meals. Either I'm catering it because I'm overcooking, which then we just try different restaurants, or like that year the girls cooked a lot of Mexican dishes. I should say Spanish dishes, because that's what they like, and they were trying
Yeah.
new recipes. But I recommend.
That's pretty sweet that you got to go on a cruise over Thanksgiving and
There
just
was
like,
nobody there, no kid. Like
well,
it
that was
was.
still kind of COVID
I
and
want to do it
everybody was on
again. If
lockdown.
I could totally swing it and tell everybody, hey, let's just go on a cruise. And it was just a quick, we left on Friday, came back Monday. Absolutely. I mean, cruising wise, we flew in Thursday, but our cruise was from Friday to Monday. Absolutely amazing.
My
Perfect
kids
time.
don't want to cruise. I have all these free cruises I can go on, and my kids are like, "No, cruising's not our jam. I don't want to be on a big boat." I'm like,
I
"Okay,
really, you're right, Denise. This is our goal in the next month or so. We need to plan our next cruise because we haven't
yeah,
been on one since December and it's now
I know,
August. So we need to be on
I know," and
every
that we need a
cruise.
makeover for that cruise because that, while it had some great, like, well, there wasn't much great about it. We need a redo. I mean, there were a few things that I would take away that I would do it over again, but that was a fucking crazy cruise
Yeah.
between the
So
deaths and the
there are
fire.
lots of places you can travel to for around Thanksgiving. I mean,
Yeah.
around the fall in general. And we're going to kind of highlight some more specifics next week when we are hopefully on location.
Yes, I'm
Hopefully,
hoping. And I hope you smell better.
me too, babe, because the windows are open, the attic fan is on, which is one of my favorite features of this house, and we're going to see how it goes. But I'm excited for fall. How about you?
And if you guys have any tricks that maybe help Cheryl get less smelly over there, because I've heard tomato juice.
Look,
Tomato.
that's what someone told us, but Penny is a blonde dog. Could you imagine if I dumped tomato juice on her?
I mean, I
And
think if it was my dog, I wouldn't give a shit what color she was as long as she
no,
didn't stink.
I did the whole Dawn baking soda. I've done that one. Like that was her first round. I'll have to wash them multiple times. But Penny has the double layer coat. But
Yeah.
she really only got it in her face, so it doesn't matter. Everything stinks. I'm gonna be stinky for a week.
Uh,
I'm not. Here's to wine.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here's to, yeah. All
But
right.
thank you
Well,
guys. Yeah, I think that wraps up. We just again had to pivot today. It wasn't our normal.
yeah, it wasn't our normal episode, but we want to know if you have a favorite fall tradition or place that you go and things that you do. And would love to hear your feedback. And I think today we're just going to say, sorry, it stinks over there, Cheryl.
You guys enjoy a nice, beautifully smelling, hopefully in your area. Open your windows because the seasons are changing and the weather is getting more and more cooler, which makes it nice. And I just love the smell of this seasons changing. So
Yeah.
hopefully you smell better than I do. And I wish you all a happy weekend and we will see you next week.
Suitcase Divas out.
Bye, guys.